First of all, I'm not ruling anything out for this inauguration with at least two assassination attempts on candidate Trump over the summer. I do think right now our country is in the weakest place it's ever been. If everything goes through with the inauguration and the new administration kicks in, I think we'll be exponentially growing on a daily basis and getting back to where we were. But we're going to be in a weak stage right now, and I think you used the word rookie before. I would say unsophisticated. I would say an amateur. I don't think this person is the one who comes out and successfully plants some type of device. Again, it can't be ruled out, but it looks like he's had his time in the spotlight. It looks like he knows he did his job that day, whatever purpose it was to serve. And I think he's figuring, I'm done. I can sit back. And I don't also want to take any risk of getting arrested, because in spite of what people say, going back to Sherlock Holmes, that, some people want to get caught for their crimes. No, they don't. And I think Sherlock Holmes said that too. So he doesn't want to go to prison for what he did. So anything can happen in the next few days prior to the inauguration and there itself. I said this on my podcast, in my book I'm about to publish. But let's hope our military law enforcement folks are on top of their game and either can be prevented or just doesn't happen at all. I don't know. This is one of the toughest profiles I've had to build. First of all, I'm outside the investigation. All I have is media reports of what this person's done. But I don't know if he's a political operative of some sort. I don't know if he's somehow connected to law enforcement intel in the DC area, even a long dotted line. It could be a short direct line. The fact that the person put these devices at both the Republican National Committee headquarters and the Democrat National Committee headquarters, that's odd too. If your statement is attempting to be political, you can argue it's still a political statement, but most times it's going against one politician or one party or another. This person chose to do both, again, with these faux or dummy bombs, I don't think ever truly designed to detonate. And what was the message? That's what's unclear. And I know everyone talks about a diversion. I was a police officer before FBI agents. Remember when bank robberies would occur, we get a call 10 minutes before of a house fire or a bad accident somewhere. I know the concept of diversion, but if they're in almost plain bags and not even readily identifiable, not really seen till 12:45 the next afternoon, and then a little after 1 o'clock for the device, the DNC, the mindset, the purpose, the mission is just unclear with this person. We have a better physical description now, 5'7", the clothing, possibly a male, although I guess it can't be ruled out, kind of a stockier woman. The Unabomber used to, he would shave or grow a mustache before he would plant some of his devices. He would put like wads of gum in his cheeks to make him look more heavyset, at least in his face. I'm not saying that happened with the J5, J6 bomber, but there may be some added clothing to make them look heavier than they are. I don't know. So if this person was on I like to say about killers, that when describing them, they were mission oriented. If this guy had a mission, he was disoriented and he wasn't really clear what he was doing or the purpose why he was doing it. He eventually delivered the packages strictly for himself, for others. That part is unclear. I wouldn't be surprised to build this profile further out. He was probably working with someone or someone else or others, plural, and it would be the profile of that entity, which would be more appropriate to build to identify just who this person was.
Once we can take all of that digital footage, whether it's, motion video or if it's still pictures or a combination thereof, we can put them together in our forensic tools. And that can take a long time to get all those videos and images compiled together. And then we can start reviewing them. And digital forensics has come a long ways. And so if we have like a known picture, we can tell our tool, can you find me other pictures that are very similar to this? But it's still not perfect. We still have to have somebody looking through whatever has been produced to the tool, or excuse me, by the tool to suggest that this matches whatever we're looking for. Now, in the case of the DC pipe bomber, it's difficult because there's not a lot of identifying features, and some of the footage is very poor. So you're going to get a lot of very generic results. I mean, think about it. He's wearing, sort of a gray hoodie. The hoodie is up around, and it was the beginning of 2021. He's got a mask covering his face. So there's not even a lot of facial recognition to go off of. So our forensics tool are going to get us started, but then somebody's going to have to go back through and look and say, okay, I think this is the same person, and try to track it either backwards through a known point in time or forwards, trying to get to a known destination where we can somehow associate a known person with being wherever it is at a certain date and time, and sort of reduce the number of people that were there down to this one person that they've identified in the video.
What does that sort of indicate to you, that this person hasn't gone into any buildings, or there hasn't been any footage of him, say, going into the DC subway or anything like that?
It could mean a couple of things. One, he just got lucky. Or two, he maybe perhaps spent some time doing some reconnaissance and research and looking around and maybe paying attention to where are the cameras on this route? How can I get here without exposing myself to all these different cameras and places? Because as we all watch the news, we know, to your point, just how much we are on camera these days. And, he's got something very generic on that could be very easy to blend in with many other people wearing similar things too. I mean, it's January, lots of people are going to have hoods and stuff like that on too.
How rare is it that there seems to be this little information in an investigation?
Well, that's the thing. We don't really hear about the cases where we don't have any data because the case can't move forward. The reason we hear about this one is because everybody could see what was going on January 6th. And, this person started their plotting before it, but it was certainly intertwined with it. And so it got thrown into that major news coverage. And it's all about what the news decides to cover in that cycle as to what gets reported.
This person seemed to be ambivalent, sort of rudderless, purposeless, not even sure what he was doing, where he was going. And basically, he finally decided, it's not even 100% clear, the evening of the 5th or sometimes on the 6th of January of 2021, when these devices, these improvised explosive devices, IEDs, which is the jargon of the trade, where they were actually placed. And they were basically, from everything I can see, they were, if not dummy bombs, they were at least not designed to detonate. The FBI and the police claim they rendered safe, which is a kind of a term the bomb techs use to diffuse it or make sure it just wouldn't explode. But there was also only a 1-hour kitchen timer ostensibly hooked to the detonator. And that just didn't make sense either.